Chapters like this is why One Piece is so awesome. Everybody in the community was talking about whether or not Luffy and Cracker's fight was over and did Luffy really one-shot a Yonko commander. And in actuality, the fight hadn't even started. Once again, Oda got us. Hello everybody. Welcome to my review for One Piece chapter 838. Broper or Proper, however you want to pronounce that. I'll be pronouncing it as Broper. I want to start off with talking about that scene in which we get the title of the chapter. Carrot and Chopper in Mirror World, and Chopper asks Carrot to call him Brother Chopper. She put the two words together and called him Broper. This scene, to me, I'm hoping that there's foreshadowing in it, because we know that Oda, from SBS, we know that Oda views the Straw Hat crew as a family, to which Chopper is one of the brothers. So I'm hoping that this scene is foreshadowing to Carrot becoming a member of the crew. But I also want to discuss about this chapter, Chopper's plans to use the mirrors. I could see him doing two different things with this. One, he could be using the mirrors to go and find Sanji. Now, although he would be able to find Sanji and possibly communicate with him, there wouldn't be much that him, Carrot, or Sanji could do. Sanji is currently got the cuffs on him, so any resistance he put up, so to get his hands blown off. And Chopper and Carrot is stuck in Mirror World. The best could happen is them letting Sanji know that they're there and that they're planning to rescue him. The next thing I want to bring up, another minor detail, is that both Brule and Cracker have scars on their face. Now I'm curious if this is just a coincidence or something that will lead to a deeper plot point. I will be reading, looking forward to finding out which it is. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this chapter. The battle between Cracker and Luffy took a surprising turn that we all didn't see coming, with Luffy breaking Cracker's body open. And from the broken body comes the real Cracker, who we discover does not like pain and has the biscuit fruit, or the biscuit fruit, apologies. That he's a biscuit man and is able to control and create suits of armor out of biscuits. Now I want to speak on the fact that Cracker does not like pain. This does not mean that he can't handle pain, but he simply does not like it. So even if Luffy manages to break through all of the Cracker armors, doesn't mean he's going to be able to one-shot Cracker. We also know Cracker has the toughest haki that Luffy has ever seen, the toughest armament haki that Luffy has ever seen. This again is seen, we get to see this chapter when he nearly cuts Luffy's arm off while Luffy's in Gear 4. So it's a good chance that if he can cut through Luffy's armament haki that easily, that Luffy is not going to be able to punch through his. So Luffy may not even be able to inflict pain on Cracker. Which leads me to a theory I had last week that Luffy might lose this fight and end up getting saved by Brook or Pedro, or maybe even Jinbei. Maybe Jinbei's future role in this arc, that he's going to end up saving Luffy from wherever Cracker leaves to defeat Luffy. Another thing I want to speak on in this chapter is the fact that we got to see all of the Straw Hats. This to me means we're moving out of the phase of the arc that I like to call the exploratory arc, where they are exploring the island, getting used to it, to the terrain and the crazy, wacky things that are going to happen, and moving into the section of the arc where they start making their way back towards each other to handle the goal or problem of the arc. So I'm hoping the chapter we get in 2 weeks will be focused on that, them getting back together. We find out what happened between Luffy and Cracker, and the story starts to progress. Another possibility, of course, for the chapter is at the last page, we got to see Electric Blue Niji, and Sparking Red Ichigo, Sanji's two oldest brothers. Now we might get some more Vinsmoke in next chapter, but I am hoping not. I feel we've got everything we could get from that for right now, and anything else would sort of be more of just different, but still more of the same. So I'm hoping we move forward in the story altogether. I want to speak on Big Mom. Her scene in the chapter where to me, she seems very disappointed that Luffy is not doing better against her forces. I feel that she might even wanted Luffy to beat Cracker and end up meeting her, taking her on, or simply meeting her. This brings up an interesting point that some people in the community have had about whether or not she is testing the Straw Hats. Which I could see this being possible because it was said by Peckhams that if Sanji and Pudding gets married, that Luffy and them, that Straw Hats would be a crew under Big Mom's command, which is a possibility. She's trying to find out if they're actually worthy of being under her command. Possibility of trying to kill two birds with one stone, gaining the Vinsmokes and a powerful subordinate crew. But this we will have to wait and see. With that, I want to bring up the end of the $500 million Barry and arc when we see Shanks on the cover of this week's chapter, laughing at the newspaper. The point I want to bring up is that at some wedding in the ruins, that I think is going to have a very big, something very big to play within the future. This wedding that's taking place, because we know it's not of course, it's not Sanji's wedding. Although that would be quite interesting for Luffy and Shanks next meeting to be at the wedding, but we both know this is not true. The wedding seems to already be underway, and as we know, Sanji's wedding is tomorrow, which I'm actually curious to see if the wedding is going to take place. I don't think it is, but at this point in time, I really don't see how the Straw Hats are going to stop it. But that we'll have to wait and see. But that is it for my review of this chapter. It's a great chapter. I loved it. I'm giving it top ratings. Hope the chapter in the next in 2 weeks is just as good. Next week, I believe I will do a video on my theories and predictions and thoughts so far on this arc by me coming into roughly into the middle of it with my videos. I think I should give everyone my take on it so that anybody that's watching will not be lost. Until next time, may your journeys be full of interest.